Hey, this is MJ, call sign KW3KW with Ham Radio Made Simple, and I'm doing a video today on the top 25 tips and tricks advanced users on JS8. So if you're new to JS8, watch the videos that I have posted in the link below. That'll get you up and running. But if you've been using JS8 for a while, this is something that you're going to want to watch because I show a lot of shortcuts that you probably don't know even exist. And if you have other ones, please post them in the comments below that if I had missed them. Anyhow, what I want to show you, what I do, the first thing is always tune my rig when I get done, as far as my best practice. I always make sure my time and sync with my computer is good. So I use net time, and I do the update. And I want to make sure my offset is good because I often find that it can be off, 800 milliseconds or more. And the reason that's critical is if I'm trying to do a fast mode at minus 12 dB and we have a bad time delta, and I'm part of the cause and the other person's part of the cause, then we're not going to get full decode or have issues. So I can use fast at minus 12 dB when we have a good time delta instead of normal. And I can do normal at minus 18 and still get a full decode again if the time delta works. So get in the habit of making sure your time delta is good. Next is I always want to check is my audio settings. Remember in the past how you went File, Settings, and then you went under Audio like over here, and then you were checking your audio settings? Just go up to your call sign up at the top, click on your call sign, right or left mouse click, doesn't matter. Go to your audio, and now you can see, to make sure that you are at the USB audio codecs. A lot of times one of these will get switched for me. It could be a Windows update. It could be me doing something stupid something I wasn't supposed to do. So again, fast way to get up into that and to make changes on it. The next thing is like for sounds, if I ever need to make adjustments on the receiving side, the microphone over here, I keep this running in the background, the sound control panel, and I can then, I have it already queued up to change my microphone levels. So I can go in here and I can make adjustments back and forth however I want to do it. But I leave this running in the background, and I just don't click it off. I just click on and let it go back into the whatever it goes. I don't know, behind the screen. So that's another thing I always keep doing. Now, when you want to do it, you always want to check your ALC. We always used to know, you go to Tune, you adjust up and down, go down a little bit just to see one bar, and then hit Tune, turn it off. I found it something I didn't know. Maybe you guys know this, and again, it could be me. Maybe I'm really stupid. But if I turn it on, and instead of going back up, if I just hit the halt button, I can hit the halt and it'll stop it. And the other thing too is if I have a bunch of stuff in here, then I go, oh no, I want to get rid of. Halt clears this whole field out and also stops your transmission. So that's a great little button right there that I'm finding I'm using a lot more than I did before. If we have a time delta adjustment that we need to do, so let's say we have, these are all pretty good, but let's say someone is minus 500, and I want to get that even better, right mouse click, and I can jump to the 500 time drift. Now, KF1P, the two of us are going to be zeroed out, and we'll have should have a zero time delta, or 100 milliseconds or less. It's a great way of doing it, but when you're done with the QSO with them, you want to go back, make sure you set your time drift to 0. Oop. Don't go down. Set time drift. And now if you go back up, it zeroes it out. You're back to normal. But I wouldn't do it for 500. This would be more like 1200 or whatever, that you're going to see 1200 milliseconds, like 1.2 seconds. So that's how you can quickly do something like that. To adjust the screen size, there is a button up here. It's called View, Reset Frame Size, and it goes to the default. What I like is that I can actually go in here, for example, and I'm going to go right here. Actually, I want to pull this one down, and I want to pull this one down right here. I don't need that much in the typing messages because it goes away anyhow. So make this as small as possible, make this as large as possible, and as wide as possible. And I can also go in here, for example, on the time delta, I can move back and forth. I can move the columns as much as I want. So again, other ways to do it makes it easy. And if it's all messed up, go back up to View and go ahead and reset frame size. So just be aware that you can adjust the size and make it, I call it more user-friendly, that goes on. Now, as far as you're going to notice is my color scheme. Again, click on, go under UI. So I clicked on my call sign UI, and under band call activity, this is the band call, and this is call activity, this is band activity. So you notice the blue, I changed it to both there. I changed the font to 9, and I changed the to Arial. So really easy to do. You got messages. This is your message area over in here. And again, I can change the text background color, which is black, or text box, and then the foreground color and the font color and the font size. So all adjusted right in here. So go ahead and play around with it. And then composition is the red right in here. And I like to have something bright up against it. Whatever you want to do, but you know, if you're going to be spending time on JS8 call, make it more aesthetically pleasing to the way you like it and more visible by the contrast that you can put in these settings. So just hit OK, and we're done with that one. There's a difference between push and pull. Push means I push out information to either a group or to an individual. Pull means someone's pulling information from me. So if I go like SNR in here, let's say I'm going to take, we'll do the latest one because they've been on for 4 minutes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit SNR, and I'm pushing my SNR report out to KB8UVN. That's a push. To do a pull, remember how you went in the past and you could go right mouse click on them, and you can go directed message and SNR. Okay, well, there's a much faster way of doing it. If they're highlighted, they're going to show up directed to. And there's 2 ways I can do it. I can go back and do it this way now and pull up SNR without having to right mouse click, or I can just simply go SNR question mark, enter. Don't have to type in call sign, don't have to do anything. You just have to put in the command. And I can do that with reply status, whatever. So again, just another quick shortcut, and how to that's push. Now to pull something, that was a pull, what I just did. Excuse me, the SNR question mark is a pull. The SNR without the question mark is a push. I'm pushing information out. So you can understand the difference between the two. Down in here, info is this is a push. I'm pushing it out. My status, I'm pushing it out. But now let's say I belong to a group, and I made up one, North Carolina Ham Group, NC Ham. And I want to push out my status, and so I can click that on. But what is my status? So if I go, for example, up into here, and I look under station and under status, for a group, they may have, like, you know, with groups I belong to, they want, like, okay, under status, you put in, like, I required to put in level 2 status, or the weather, or do I have traffic, or, you know, news, anything to report. I can put in traffic, news, whatever the commands that they want. I can put it in here. What I discovered also, you can do the same thing with the reply message. So, you know, the reply message is, this gives you a second field, by the way, for the net operator to pull. So today's net, yes, I will attend. So my reply message is, I'm going to attend today, and my station status message is level 2 status. So I put that in there, and I change it at will by just simply doing what I did. And now I can push out my status, which I can do right in here. This is going, remember, this is going to the group. It's down in here. Don't have to type in the group. I just hit this. Off goes. This is a push to the group. And I'm going to hit halt. I can also do the reply. Same thing. I can push the reply. But if the group operator wants to do it, what they're going to do is, again, they're going to do the question mark. Now, if you notice in here, directed to, and if I'm the net operator, there is no reply that is showing on here. I can do a push, but I can't do a pull. Well, you can do a pull. All you have to do is the reply, question mark, enter. And now at this point, what's happening is the net operator is sending out a message to pull from everyone's station what's stated in the reply. Now, what the best practice is that you should have yourself permanently at a offset. And I have mine typically set at 1400. Let me do this here once this is done transmitting. Okay, and remember back in the day when you were doing all of this, set, offset, and you put in 1400, and that's your default offset when you every time you boot up. Well, there's another way of doing it. If, let's say I was wanted to pull somebody else's message in, I wanted to find their conversation, this one over here. So I'm pulling this up, and now I'm looking at this urgently reporter expeditions. Okay, so now I have them. I'm connected to them. You can look right down in here. That's the conversation that I'm having in there. I can pull that in, but look at my offset is off. So I can go back up either here and type in 1400, hit OK. Or if I was over here, I can pull it back over close to what I can think it is and under control and go down to and get back to my set 1400. So this right here is a fast way to me to do it. It's to just go in there and retype the offset that I should be at if my offset ever gets moved. That goes in here. While I'm down here, let's kind of go to display. If you want to get weak signals and you want to pull them in, what you want to do is under display and you scroll down and under waterfall, go 3 clicks to the right and then 2 clicks to the left, and it changes it so that you can now pick up like -18 to -23 signals. So you can, the faint signals are now visible. So that's a great way of doing it. Let's see here. We did, okay, let's post a message to somebody's box here. So I'm going to go to KF1P, and I can typically go here and again, store a message in your inbox and put that in. Or I can basically now just go, if I clicked on that individual when it's down in here, instead of doing all that, because you're going to have to type a message anyhow, MSG space posting message for YouTube video. Thanks. And then off it goes. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the halt so I don't bother this individual with the message. But he will get a flag in here. And let me tell you why I like doing this. If I'm trying to do QSOs, instead of doing CQ like you see over here and maybe get somebody, I'm going to look at somebody over here and I'm going to try to leave a message in their inbox. And that way, if they see a flag, it doesn't get lost in all this garbage if they walked away. Because a lot of people will turn on JS8, walk away, and then come back and kind of look at it. But if they see a flag, I basically grab their attention and said, oh, someone sent me a message. And then they may reply. And a little while later, I'll get someone replying, and I can start a QSO. So it's a great way of starting something is go to somebody and post it. Now, this is all provided. The fact is that they have these 3 things checked. Enable auto reply right in here. This is what you want. You're going to have that checked. I would recommend everyone check these 3. I don't do heartbeat acknowledgments, but I would do these 3. And this way you don't have to sit there, have the screen pop up and say yes or no, whatever. But anyhow, again, another tip. Next, let's see here. We did saved messages. Okay, let's do saved messages. I created a bunch of saved messages here. And so if, for example, I'm in a conversation with KF1P, I can do is like, how many contacts have you made today? We're in a QSO. How are the bands your way? Thanks for the QSO 73. But I can also edit and add real quickly by just doing this and then going up to, putting on here, rig on for the next hour, add. Now I have a new message that's in there, done. Again, you can also go up here and you go to save messages and you can do the same thing. Multiple ways of doing it. But if you're pulling down from the save and you want to make adjustments, simply just, go down and you can edit the message or use the ones, highlight it and hit the send button. So actually, I think it already sends. So I'm just going to do, let's say, thanks 73, automatically sends off. I'll hit the halt so I don't bother someone. So essentially, that's what you can see how fast it is to be able to use saved messages on that. If you we talked about being able to push and pull messages, for example. So a push is I'm sending out an SNR report. So I'm going to go ahead and hit an SNR, and I'm pushing out at this time a report. Okay? I can push out my info. I can push out my status. But the nice one I like is when you're belonging to a group and you want to pull. So if I'm if I'm an operator, a net operator, and belonging to a group, or want to pull someone's information in there, again, you can go directed to, and I want what is my signal report, what is your station information, what is your grid locator status. It doesn't show reply. You notice that? It doesn't. But I can still pull someone's reply message. And so by simply pushing in here, reply, question mark. Oop, let me spell it with my fingers right. And hit enter. It's going to pull all the people in this group's reply message that came from right here. So anyone who has a reply message, I'm pulling it, as well as I can hit status question mark and pull everyone's status level in here. This is nice because these become ways of communicating information, that someone's looking for in a pull format versus more of a push format in here. So for my case, today's net, I'm going to be on it, and level 2 status is what the group was asking under station. That's what you put in your status level for the day, and you hit OK. So push versus pull is really nice. Let's see in here. Resend previous message. I can just right mouse click in here, restore previous message, and up comes my last message that I just did. So if you're sending a message and it was long and somehow you have to resend it because it didn't go through, and you say, oh gosh, I really should have sent that at slow, normal didn't go through. Well, you can just go again. I'm going to clear that out. I'm going to go right mouse click, restore previous message. Now, let's say you have a lot of good information from a net and you want to keep all this information, but it's a lot. Instead of trying to do a screen print, you can go save as, copy it, and this now can be a text file that is sent. And now you can save it. So it's a great way. Or if you want to look at the different stations that you reached, there's a lot of ways you can save a lot of this information. Okay. The other one is since I'm on a group, I can ping the group, and I want to find out who's online right now. They're not sending out heartbeats. I just hit, again, remember, because I'm directed to, I hit the greater than arrow, hit enter, and right now what it's going to do, I'm going to hit the halt because no one's on. It's a made-up group. It's going to go out and ping everybody, and I should get an acknowledgement and populate this area. But what happens if I'm not doing a group and I want an individual? Let's say I know Steve leaves his rig on during this time of the day, but he's not sending out any heartbeats. I'm not picking it up. I right mouse click over here, and I'm going to add a new station. I'm going to add KE2KN. Now that I got Steve added on here, I'm going to click Steve so he's directed to here, and now I'm going to ping him. And off I'm going to go. I'm going to find out if Steve's on or not. Now I have a quick way of knowing whether or not Steve has got on, his rig is on or not. And then once I know people's rigs are on, then I practice. I have different antennas, and I'll measure and say, okay, Todd up, toward New Jersey area, I think northern Pennsylvania, New Jersey area. I'll ping him, and because he leaves his rig on. And I will then try my different antennas and see, okay, what different SNRs am I getting? Which ones seem to work better reaching him? And it's a lot of fun doing that. So when I leave my rig on often, so look for KW3KW, and I'll leave it on, and sometimes in the morning, a little bit in the afternoon. 20 meters in the afternoon, 40 meters early morning, mid morning, and you can try and see if I'm on there, and just go ahead and try and ping, see if you can reach KW3KW, and then put a message in my inbox. Let's see what else here. So we talked about a message inbox. How do I put a message in the inbox? I'm going to put a message in, let's say Steve is on. I know he's not, but if I wanted to, the long way of doing it is, okay, direct it to, message, store this message in your inbox. The second fastest way of doing it is a message in your inbox. The fastest way of doing it, because you're going to have to type, is MSG space, thanks Ken for taking in this message. And then off I go. And it would go off to him, and he would see the flag, and he would know that he has a message in his inbox. And as again, like I had mentioned, for QSOs, I'm trying to start QSOs, that's what I like to do, is try to put messages in people's inbox that I don't know, and they'll usually respond to that more than it's something I think it gets lost over in the banned activity area that goes in here. Next thing is configurations. Under configurations, you should have more than the one that you're using there. And so I basically started with my ICOM 7300 and I cloned it. And then I went back and it says IC 7300 copy. And then I renamed it. And this happened to be, for example, the test one for today's meeting. And then I went to test and I switched to test. Let's see, I'll be a switch to button. And it'll close off and open up. Why is this a good thing? Well, for me, for example, I've got a lot of settings in here, but I only want to do a couple minor alterations. For example, if I just want to do cat control changes for FL rig. I can do an FL rig, and I have it specifically set up to do FL rig with the 7300 and one for the FT891. And some may ask, well, why are you doing that FL rig if you can do cat control? Well, when you use FL rig, I can set up FL rig and use it with my ICOM 7300 for JS8, and I can use it also for, at the same time, same frequency, FL Digi Contestia can be open, for example, or Libya. And I can monitor both of them at the same time, but I have to use FL rig to do that. And so that's a key, is to be able to say, okay, but I don't want to have to sit there and do and undo all the settings or remember what they are. I set it, create it, and now I have the option to use it. So when you have this open and you have many configurations like I do, you can find out which one you have open by going down here at the status bar. And you can see it says test. That's the one I'm using right now. And I'm doing the test for the YouTube video so I can play with it without messing up a bunch of stuff in here. So I just cloned one and made a different configuration that goes in here. So again, this is your status bar. This is your countdown, each transmission, 9, 10, send, if you notice in here. And here's the words per minute. I can do, 12 words per minute, pretty much in here. So this is just going to show you, but let me put a message in here. I'm going to go back, restore previous message, and let me make that longer. I'm going to say testing to show words per minute. Based on the fact I'm up here at fast, it should be, I can do 20 right now words in a minute right now. So this should go pretty quickly in here. And certain words go faster than others, by the way. Be aware of that. Okay, so we did that. I'm just going to hit halt and clear all that out. So we did the ping. Okay, let's do fast frequency changes. So I already showed you up here, this is where you can change your offset at any given time. Let's go up to frequency. I can change frequencies quick here. I can set a custom frequency on the fly, but this does not stay in your drop-down list the next time you reboot or turn on JS8 call. So again, remember the key, go up here, go frequencies, right mouse and click, insert, bing. I'm typing in 7.111. Okay, I put that in there. Okay, now I come in and I got 7.111. Because you can go through this way a lot faster, you can make changes on your frequency versus trying to do a set of custom frequency or just turning the dial. There's multiple ways to do it, but I think that's a great and fast way of doing it. The other thing I want to show is, let's do the waterfall area. I think that's what I'm going to do next in here. So if I'm in the waterfall area and I want to put on a band filter, because I'm getting a lot of traffic, let me just click something to get that off. Let's say who has a filtered or something that's near me. Let me look at their offset. Most of these are, when you see these lower numbers, these are just strictly heartbeats. Here's the person over here that is actually probably transmitting. These are just heartbeats going out. They're not actually connecting to anybody. So I got 1247. That might be way over. Okay, over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a band filter. I'm going to just right mouse click down here. I'm going to set a band filter to 750. And I can actually even make it smaller, I think. Set band filter to 500. And I think that's too small. We'll do 750. What I essentially did now is I'm only receiving traffic within the 7.078 within this area of the waterfall, this offset area. So all the traffic that's going out, especially in your heartbeats, I won't be picking up because I'm in a QSO with somebody on 7.078, and I've filtered out all of the unnecessary traffic that I wanted. And when I want to go back to normal, I just right mouse click, disable filter, and done. And you just put that in. So makes it really easy being able to use the waterfall areas. And I think I showed you, maybe I did, if I didn't, forgive me. Under display, what you can do down in here is, you can see under display, I'm going to scroll down to waterfall, and I'm going to be going 3 clicks to the left, and from the left, and 2 clicks to the left, 3 clicks to the right. And what that's going to do is allow me to now see weaker signals that are actually coming in before they can get hidden. But that's a great way to see the weaker signals that are coming in. If you don't want to see the status bar down here of this all going on, you can always just remove the view and in here show status bar. Just take that off. I actually like seeing it. And sometimes if it doesn't show up right, let me make sure I put that on there. In here, I click up here, up by the maximize and minimize window, and I click it, and I notice I can get everything back that I want to see. Because there's a full screen mode that you may lose, and you can lose the tabs that are up here that go in. Clear functions. If I wanted to get rid of an individual one that doesn't look like it's a real legitimate one, I'll put this one in here. Right mouse click, remove activity, gone. Here's another one. That doesn't look like I want that one. I can remove that. I can remove them all of everything by clear all, but I just want the band activity removed. Done. And I can do the same thing over here. I can hit clear and remove all of these and just be done that. And just keep this if I wanted to. So there's all different ways you can do this. So you sure want to clear all the field activity? And the answer is yes. So hopefully after this video, you've found there's a lot of different things you can do to make JS8 faster and easier to use. And I'd love to hear comments of what tips and tricks that you found, as well as saved messages that works for you. Real quick, I forgot to show you 2 other features I wanted to include in the video. One is heartbeat. Instead of going up here under control, send heartbeat, and all of this, this is actually all just right mouse clicking the heartbeat down here, and you can pull that up much faster instead of going through all of that. And the other thing too is you can actually prioritize these columns by right mouse clicking up at the top. So for example, I want to go sort columns by call sign, for example. Or not call sign, let's say SNR the strongest. I can do that, and now all of a sudden it's sorted by that. Or if I want to go by, sort by last heard, first recent. So there's many ways you can play around with this, but you can also go up in here and add or take away what you don't want to show within it. And it's the same thing on here. This is the one with the call sign. This is the one I like. I can do call sign, so I'm looking specifically at call signs, or I'm looking at the one that is the most recent, comes in here. Or I can look by SNR. I can look by time delta. So be aware that you can adjust that. You can also adjust the sizes here that you can put in. So again, all of this is customizable on both sides of it. And that should do it. So again, this is MJ, call sign KW3KW with Ham Radio Made Simple. Thanking you for hitting the like, the subscribe, and posting your comments. Out.